Gather round the campfire, children. It's time to get cozy. We'll be telling some sad and scary tales. Nah, just kidding. It's a snapshot video, baby. What's good? It's me, Logdotzip, and welcome to the latest and greatest in Minecraft snapshots. 19W02A, the first snapshot of the year, came out on January 9th, baby, and there's been some really exciting changes. Namely, campfires have finally been added in-game, and they've got some really exciting effects that we're going to be jumping into alongside some updates to other various blocks that have been coming out in the latest 1.14 snapshots for the Village and Pillage update. But honestly, guys, let's just appreciate how this looks right now. Big mood. What? Are you... Oh my gosh, rain? The timing there was impeccable. Anyways, yes, we'll be going over all the new things that came to the latest snapshot. I do want to say, if you want to catch more information on snapshots right as they come out, all you gotta do is subscribe, baby. Hit that bell. With that, let's jump in. Welcome to the ultimate Minecraft Island theme park that no one can enter. Discover giant blocks, battle intense creatures, and get ready for the journey of a lifetime as you help Professor Rossforb launch Big Block Island. Out now on the Minecraft Marketplace. I guess the first thing worth noting is that campfires do not go out in the middle of the rain, so don't worry about that, although they can be extinguished. More on that in a little bit. Did want to give a special thank you to Stark TMA who helped us put together this world. Yo, Yassi, you're the man, dude, love it. All right, with that though, check it out. Added campfires. Yes, webcam fires. You put this thing on a webcam, you're gonna have a good time. I don't know what that means. Anyways, it's obviously supposed to be campfires. Here's how you make the campfire. You got sticks, you got coal, you got logs. You can use all different types of logs. It doesn't really matter what direction you place them in, what types of logs they in fact require. You can use them all, and you place it on in there. Beautiful campfire. Interesting icon, by the way. Look at this thing. It's like animated. It's fun looking. Yo, it's hot, baby. And you can place it on down just like this. One of the first things you'll notice about the campfires is the fact that they emit a very thick smoke that comes from them. It's a really nice particle effect, and as you can see further down this path, you can continue to make out where all the different campfires are actually going to be placed. We'll go ahead and clear the weather for the time being. It's kind of annoying. More importantly, though, you also have a secondary crafting recipe using campfires. You can use stripped logs as well, which is very unique in that I think that's one of the only recipes that will allow you to use either logs or stripped logs as well to get your campfire needs taken care of. You can place them all right next to each other. It will obviously just allow for a lot more smoke to appear nearby, and obviously if you step on it, well, you're gonna start taking some damage. Oh boy, be careful everybody. Whoa! Interesting. So if you sneak on it, you become immune to the fire. You become the fire. So we're in the middle of the dark. It was important to note that these campfires do in fact give off a light source. Bam! Look at it. Yeah. It's not much of a light source. It's enough to at least see a little bit around you, and I don't think it's effective as a torch. In fact, we can check that right now. If you press F3, you can see the light level based on this block. It's actually showing up right here where my mouse is. 15 sky 7 blocks. So we have a light level of 7 on this campfire. Now let's go further away, place a torch down, and you can already see right off the bat, much brighter. The light level on this is 13. Almost twice as bright with a torch compared to with a campfire. So I would not recommend you use this to light up your areas, but it does have some other important uses. Namely that you can use it to cook up to 4 different items all at the same time. This is very interesting. The really cool part about this fact is that you only need 1 coal to make this campfire, but my understanding is that the campfires do not go out. So it's basically an infinite fuel source, well, an infinite cooking source that you don't need to worry about having a whole bunch of coal for. It's going to be an excellent starting tool for any survivalists out there. But here's the different food types that you can jump into right away. We got a serious spread. Yo, we eating tonight fish, beef, chicken, rabbit. Yeah, I would have gone for the lamb, to be honest. But so look at what happens when you right-click raw food on top of this. Bam. Wait, it didn't click. Bam. 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 Look at it. Yeah. And we're gonna go ahead and let this thing cook. It's a little bit slower than normal furnace, but one thing of interest is that when it finishes cooking, it will just pop off of the fire. So you'll wanna make sure that you are nearby this fire so that you can claim the food the moment it's ready. I'll go ahead and perfect. And we can go ahead and let this thing cook. Yes, and as you can see here, we placed a timer on screen right now to roughly measure how long these things take to cook. And look, they're popping off right away. Yo, seriously. Who's hungry? So what else can it cook? Can it cook ores? No, it just places ores down. Well, that's odd. But an important thing to note is that the smoke will, in fact, go through any blocks placed above it. So you can really use this fact of the campfires to make blocks look like they are extremely hot and that they're smoking. And this is gonna be a really nice asset for any creative people out there that want to use campfires as a means of decoration. I mean, could you imagine this? It's like a vent. It's like a hot, smoky vent. I don't know why I'm saying vent like that. Seriously, and what's with the rain constantly? You can put 4 different types of food on at once. They can be different, they can be the same. You have to stay nearby, but you get the idea. Moving on though, campfire smoke can be seen, and here I quote, very, very far away when there's a hay bale below this campfire. So we've got a nice little area right over here with some different hay bales that we can test this out with. Check it out. Bam, 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 bam. You don't need all 4. You only need 1 hay block underneath the campfire. But you'll see in a hot second here. Get it? Because it's a campfire. That is a significantly amount of smoke taller. That sounded weird. It's significantly taller in its smoke plumes versus a campfire without. Who's trying to cook note blocks? What the heck's going on here, Stark? Get it together. Let's go ahead and show you a side-by-side comparison. So here's a side-by-side look at the difference in the campfire smoke based on if there is a hay bale underneath or if there is just a different type of block underneath. And we can go ahead and count these down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10 blocks tall for the smoke. And again, your results may vary. Sometimes the smoke disappears a little bit sooner than that. Sometimes it disappears slightly after that. But roughly 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 blocks tall without any hail. A bale of hay. I always mess that one up. Versus with the hay, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 blocks tall. Now, more importantly though, it also has a greater render distance as well. Eventually you'll see that the particles from the smaller fire completely disappear if you are too far away from the actual campfire itself. Whereas if you look at the other campfire, it continues to exist. Why is it constantly raining in this world? Okay, and so important to note, looks like I'm actually mistaken. The render distance does not increase. We're pretty far away from the rendering, and the smaller smoke is still showing up next to the larger smoke, so that's my bad. However, placing a whole bunch of campfires next to each other will obviously make it a lot easier to see that smoke because the smokestack just looks bigger. Now, will this delete items? No, it does not look like items are deleted if you place them on top of a campfire, whereas with a regular fire, it obviously would be the case that that's what happens. Bam, 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 bam. Yo, we cooking up some fish tonight, baby. Normally I'm a fan of sushi, but every once in a while I get down with some cooked meat. Now, one thing that's been pointed out to me that Stark was telling me about was that apparently there's something to do with note blocks and campfires. We don't know exactly what it is. We've been trying to comb over Reddit and Twitter and all the other places that people are talking about the snapshots to figure out what note blocks have to do with these campfires, and we have no idea. So, I mean, apart from playing music, when you, oh, lovely. Apart from playing music, if you happen to know what these note blocks are supposed to do, well, you know, reach out, let us know in the comment section below. Finally, wrapping up with campfires, we can light and unlight them. It can be lit/unlit. Stark, you're hilarious, dude. To get rid of the fire on top of a campfire, it's quite simple. Place a water bucket on top. We got a sponge here to absorb the rest of the water. Bam! Gelade. Campfire has been put out. And if you want to go ahead and relight that thing, you'll just need a flint and steel, just like that. It's beautiful. The unlit fire, though, could make for a very interesting looking decoration. I'm very curious to see. It kind of looks like... Well, I don't know what it looks like. It looks... jeez! Well, that's a glitch. It turns out if you put the fire out on top of the campfire, you will in fact still take damage. It's so sad, guys. 5 likes on today's video. Okay, so what happens if I try and break an unlit campfire? Will we get the... Interesting. We get 2 charcoal back. Okay, so that begs the question, what happens if we break one that is lit? What do we get back? We get back... We just get back charcoal when you break campfires. Very interesting. I was not expecting that, to be honest with you. But let me see what we can do with creative mode. If we go into creative mode, maybe there's a way to grab this unlit campfire. We even middle click there, so campfire, place it down. No, it does not in fact keep the MBT data. So the only way currently, to my knowledge, for you to be able to place this down is either to manually get rid of the fire on your own, or maybe there's a command I'm just not understanding. Yeah, you can let me know. But can you place raw food? No, you can't. I wanted to make sure, things work a little bit wonky over here. Maybe some different changes. But anyways, that pretty much does it for covering the campfires. There's been a couple other changes. There's been a couple other changes in today's snapshot that we're going to dive into right now. First of which is the cartography table has finally has had some added use to it. Look at this. This is going to be a table that you can use to very easily create maps, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure the globe gives it away. Why don't we go ahead and see how you make this? Well, simple enough. Bam, bam, ba-bam. There's your cartography table. Simply done. Fantastic. Place it down. You've got a lovely little menu here. And as you can see here, it is in fact for these maps. Check it out. You got two different slots that do two different things. The things you can do with it are cloning existing maps. So as you can see here, we have a map that's already been made. Fully, for the most part, I mean, the corner up there could use a little bit of love. But other than that, all you got to do to clone a map is place a map you've already made, put an empty map underneath it, and you'll get two exact copies of that same map. Look at this. Look at this. This is good. You see, we switched between the maps. It's the exact same map. Not bad, but that's not all you can do with the cartography table. You can also use the cartography table to extend existing maps. So here's another map example that we've got right here. It's the same map as before for the most part, but if you add paper to the cartography table, you can see the difference in size. Boom, you now have this much more information that you can place that map on. So now look, way smaller. A lot more to explore, and you can go ahead and do this a few times to continue to build out the size of this map. Look at this. Madness. Hold on. So here's the difference. We had map 6. This is the same exact map, but now way zoomed out. Oh my gosh, guys, get exploring. Now here's a new one. Map plus glass panes will lock the map so it can never be edited again, ever. Bum, bum, bum. So we got a glass pane right here. We got a map in question. Place the map in. Place the glass pane in. And look, you got a nice little lock icon that appears on top of this map, which in theory means you can't do anything else with it. If we try and change this map up, it does not work. You see the little red X appear. So be very careful if you decide to lock a map. One of the final additions in today's snapshot was the lectern crafting recipe has finally been added, as well as the functionality for it. So you'll need 3 different wooden half slabs, 4 of them, sorry about that, as well as a single bookshelf in order to get yourself a lectern. You'll place the bookshelf right in the middle, and then you'll essentially draw out a T for Tyler. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, I gotta replace it. But just like that, we now have access to an additional lectern. You can place it down, and it's fantastic. And it's got a really weird looking hitbox. It looks like stairs, kind of. How odd. And so naturally you can place books on top of this lectern. Just have a book of your choice, in which case I have The Mouse and the Lion. You can place it down and it will be displayed on top of the lectern. If you right click a lectern that has a book on it, you will simply open the book. Ah, lovely story. Once upon a time there lived a lion in the forest. One day after a heavy meal, it was sleeping under a tree. Ba 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 ba. Now you'll notice something. This light turned on. No, it's not because we're excellent at reading. It's because the lecterns will give off a redstone signal depending on what page of a book you are in on the lectern. Look closely at the redstone wiring behind this book as we slowly burn through it. We go back a page, we lose some redstone power, you see? We go back another page, we lose some redstone power. We go back a page, completely unpowered, I'd say, for the most. Well, not completely unpowered. It's giving off one single pulse on page 1. So the more pages you have in a book, the more spread out this pulse will be. So you could use this to reward players for getting to the end of your short stories. And honestly, that's the only way I'd get to the end of it. Have you tried practicing your writing lately? Jeez. Sorry, that was me. Rotation on the page will emit this redstone pulse. The more you go through the book, the stronger the pulse is. Not bad. But aside from a few bug fixes, my friends, that is basically everything that there is to do in the latest snapshot, 19W02. Trying to get it to to rhyme. You should check out the download for the snapshot. It's going to be found in the official Minecraft Java launcher so that you can go ahead and start experimenting on these things yourself. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite new addition was. Was it the campfires? Was it the change to the lectern? Is it the decoration aspects? Is it the fact that you now have easier cooking? I don't know, but I want to hear from y'all. And if you want to help me share this video around by leaving a like on it, it's real simple, it just takes one single click. It would do me a huge favor. Thanks again for subscribing and hitting that bell so you can see future Minecraft videos right as they come out. Thank you so much for watching. 1.14 carries on, baby. We'll see you soon.